Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be discussing hemp as an economical and sustainable alternative to a number of products that are currently used in today's market. So the challenge I'd like to propose is, as you know, the world is currently faced with huge issues such as climate change, pollution, soil depletion, higher prices for food, um household items, and life-saving drugs. So what I'd like to propose is, what if there were a cheap, eco-friendly, sustainable material that could potentially assist in solving every one of these issues? And I'd like to suggest hemp as a way to address them. So first, to just give an introduction to what hemp is, it's a non-psychoactive variety of cannabis. So it's related to marijuana, but it differs in its genetic makeup, its use, and its cultivation. Um, while it's While marijuana has a much higher THC content, hemp typically contains less than 1% THC, so it basically can't get you high. Um, but it does have an extremely wide variety of applications to industrial production, pharmaceuticals, and food. It can create sturdy industrial materials like rope, textiles, clothing, shoes, food, paper, plastics, insulation, and a number of other products. Food products such as hemp oil, hemp milk, tea, bread, cheese substitute, and protein powder. And it can also be used, and I think this is the most important factor, it can also be used to extract a healing substance known as CBD that could potentially replace a number of dangerous and addictive drugs that we have on the market today. So I'd like to uh, discuss the legal status of hemp, because regardless of the fact that it had essentially no psychoactive effect, it was still classified as a Schedule 1 narcotic by the DEA until very recently, just because it looked like marijuana. Um, However, as of the passing of the Farm Bill in 2018, hemp and all of its derived products have been legalized nationwide. So, and states have essentially been left to determine how they choose to regulate hemp versus other agricultural products. And I believe as awareness of hemp grows, it's likely to become much more commonly cultivated in the US because of its incredible benefits. So some of the economic benefits of hemp. First, and I think most importantly, it could create countless new jobs just because of how many sectors of the economy hemp can affect. Whether that's agriculture, all types of manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, food. Uh, it would likely create thousands of jobs. Um, in terms of manufacturing, hemp is a much more durable and cost-efficient material to produce with. So it's 10 times stronger than cotton, lighter and more durable than wood, and produces much more cheap and durable paper. It can also be grown in almost any US state and grows a lot more densely than other crops, so farmers are able to produce a lot more of it per acre. It also requires no pesticides and very little irrigation, so it's a lot cheaper to grow than other crops. And I believe as hemp products continue to become more available, customers or consumers are likely to experience lower prices just because these products are cheaper to produce, so producers may pass on those lower costs to consumers. Some of the health benefits. So I briefly mentioned CBD. It can be extracted from hemp, and what it is essentially a naturally occurring compound that can be used to treat a variety of conditions. So seizures, arthritis, depression, anxiety, acne, and then the symptoms associated with cancer treatment, so nausea, vomiting, pain, can all be addressed. And it's non-addictive and 100% safe. So if you think of all of those conditions, how many drugs it would potentially take to address them, all of those could be eliminated and replaced with CBD potentially. So that I think is incredible. And then hemp seeds and leaves also have high nutritional value. So they're high in protein, healthy fats, fibers, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And they can promote heart and brain health, reduce inflammation from diabetes, arthritis, and heart disease, and improve skin conditions. Finally, I'd like to talk about the environmental benefits. So, as mentioned before, it requires very little water and no pesticides to grow, which means lower growing costs, but it also means preserving valuable resources and reducing the negative effect on the environment. Um, it can also be used as an effective rotational crop, so it breathes CO2 into the soil and prevents erosion. And then whatever plant matter is left over from harvest breaks down into the soil and can be used to provide valuable nutrients. As mentioned before, also, it's much more efficient to produce things with, which is going to mean less waste and less pollution. And finally, hemp products are 100% biodegradable, so they're not going to sit in a landfill for 1,000 years like some of the products we use today. So, like plastic, styrofoam, um, you essentially would not have that problem with hemp. And finally, I'd like to give some recommendations to producers and consumers. So if you're a producer, you already produce a product, you should consider the cost and input savings that you would have by incorporating hemp into your production process. It will improve your long-term economic and environmental sustainability and improve your outward image that the company projects to the public. So, um, it's very valuable to project an image of economic and environmental sustainability. Um, consumers love green companies, so that's a great way to kind of change your image. And then advice to consumers would be consider buying hemp products because of their likely lower prices, longer lives, and lower environmental impact. And also consider some of the incredible health benefits that hemp derivatives like CBD can have in treating your conditions. You're likely going to save a lot of money and get treatment that is as good or better than you would get from current drugs without the risk of addiction or any of the harmful side effects that you could potentially have. So that is my presentation on hemp. Thank you for listening, and here are some of my resources.